Today I'll be showing you some easy daisy embroidery. Everything you need will be listed in the description below. Let's get into the video. I've got some plain cotton fabric, but you can use anything you have. And I'm also using a medium-sized embroidery hoop. You can get them in different sizes. It depends on the outcome you want, whether you want a larger or a smaller design. And using some scissors, I'm going to cut out my fabric in a rough square shape. You can loosen the hoop by the top and it pops apart. I'm placing the part of the hoop which doesn't have the adjustment on at the bottom, then placing my fabric on top of this. Then place the top of the hoop on and gently press the hoop down. Start to adjust the top to make it tighter. As you do this, start to stretch your fabric so that the fabric feels tight. I'm going to cut the excess fabric off, but still leaving some space around the edge. This is optional if you wanted to work on clothes or keep it bigger to sew with other fabrics, then you don't need to do this step. I'm using a large needle and embroidery thread. I'm using pink so it's easier to see instead of using white. It's best to use embroidery thread because it's thick. I'm going to thread my needle. It can be useful to wet the tip of the thread and flatten it with your fingers. This can make it easier to get in the hole of the needle. You have the option of making the thread into a double, which can look thicker, then secure with a double knot. Or you can do a single, which I'm doing. The choice is up to you, but don't forget to always secure with a double or triple knot at the end. I'm using a pencil and I'm going to draw out some circles and some smaller circles inside of them. This is a guide for where I want to place my daisies. I always find this useful because I'm not an expert at embroidery and it always helps to have that drawn out guide. From where the smaller circle is, I'm pushing my needle up and pulling this all the way out. And using my thumb to hold that thread. And with the needle, I'm going to push down next to the hole and putting the thread through. But I'm not going to pull this so fast this time, as I want this loop. And I'm holding this with my thumb again. And where I have that outer line, from underneath, I will push the needle through again and pulling this through. As I'm pulling this through, I'm pulling the thread away from me and you can see it's made a small petal shape. Just to secure that, I'm pushing my needle down just behind that thread to keep the petal in place. So again, starting from that small circle and pushing that thread up and pulling it up, and using my thumb to hold that thread, And next to that hole I'm pushing down, but not pulling that thread too fast as you want that loop. And going back up with my needle and pulling that thread away from me as I come back up, and secure this at the back. I will keep repeating this technique till the daisies are complete. As there's some gaps, I'm going to make some more stitches, but these are more simple. From the middle, I'm pushing that thread out from underneath, and where there's that outer line, I'm pushing my needle back down. This is just a line, and it works well as daisies often have different size petals. I'll repeat this process in any of the gaps for any of the daisies. Once I've done this, I always make sure this is secure with a knot at the back, and I always cut the thread. I'm going to repeat this process for the rest of the daisies. I'm not an expert on embroidery, but I find this a simple and easy embroidery design to learn. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Once I've completed all of the daisies, I'm going to use a yellow thread to fill the middle for the buds. And as I've secured my thread with a knot at the bottom, I can pull this thread through, and you're going to be going up and down. I don't mind that it looks a bit messy, as I think this adds to the charm of it being handmade, but you can take your time and be neater with this. So you just want to fill in any of the gaps with your embroidery thread. You can also use mini buttons for the buds or leave it plain. The choice is up to you. Make sure you secure with a knot at the bottom before moving onto each of the buds. I want to erase any of those lines that I made earlier, so holding it from the bottom and gently rubbing out the lines using my rubber that's on the end of my pencil. I've added some more daisies off camera, and using a different shade of pink, I've used the same process I've shown you in this video. This can take time and practice. It can make a unique gift, or it's great for customizing any clothes. Overall, this is a fun and enjoyable hobby to try out. Check out my Instagram for more inspiration and ideas. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.